Yeah, good morning to everyone. Welcome to my channel. Hope all of you are truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. As you can see, another blue sky, sunny winter's day here in South Africa. It's a bit cold, yeah, but it's still early, so it's winter. So yeah, what are we doing today, people? Well, I decided to change things up a bit. Let me know what you think about it. Today's video, we're working on the beaking again, but we do a lot of fabricating work, building stuff, block of plates and drain pipes and sure, everything. And then also we get done with the clutch, finish up the exhaust, all of that in just one video. So yeah, we get a lot done, trying to mix things up a bit, make it a bit different. I know it's not very entertaining building stuff, but hey man, I'm trying. So let me know if there's anything else I can do to make it a bit better for you guys. All right, so let's get going, eh? Yeah, quick shout out to all the members, all you guys, all of you. You're getting to be a lot now, but thank you guys a lot. I appreciate it more than you know. Your membership helps even more than ad revenue or anything on YouTube at the moment. So you guys keep me going, and yeah, thank you all very much for being members. And if you're not a member, come and join. It helps me build better stuff for you guys to see. So yeah, big shout out to all the members. Let's get to the building of the bike. All right, so what are we doing next? Well, we've got these 3 random pieces over here, and we need like a couple of random pieces on the bike. So let's turn that into stuff we can use. All right, let's do that. All right, so there you can see we are a couple of steps in. I'm not showing you the steps of this because I think it's unnecessary. But yeah, so the one thing is already made. It still needs a little tab. This is the next one, and then that one. After I made them, or after they are made, I will show you where they fit. Yeah, and that's it. Just stop shaking. All the parts that I needed to make are made. This is the one for the turbo, for the return line. So I need to, okay, just make that all bigger and put the return pipe on. Then we can fit it on the turbo. These ones I made are the blank offs for the oil cooler lines. So these I actually keep in stock, or I normally have, but I don't have now. And yeah, there's no time to go and have a set made, so I quickly made those. And then this pipe, the link pipe, you see I put the ridges in, and I'll just put a little vacuum fitting for the wastegate. I'll put it on there, and then we can connect that boost pipe. As you can see, I already clamped it here. I already shortened it by about that much, and it's already right and tight. So this one will, and I shortened the top one also. So this pipe goes in between the two. You see there's a gap, and then if I should need a dump valve, I can always just fit it onto this pipe. Alright, so let's quickly install all of that groceries. Alright, so while we're installing these little block of plates that took way too long to have made, one goes there and one goes down there. Another thing you need to remember is once we block off these, there's no oil cooler anymore. Here behind the filter, I already cracked it loose and everything. Is another Allen key you need to remove. Just quickly remove this. So this is part of the turbo setup. So if you look in there she is. You need to remove that. What that does is, you will see there's a little hole in it. It channels the oil through the oil cooler back into the system. But because there's no oil cooler anymore, we don't need to channel it anymore, so we can remove that. So yeah, let me quickly remove that and put these caps on. But yeah, you need to do that if you run without an oil cooler. All right, so let me do that. Just one more thing while you're busy removing this bolt or whatever it is. It's normal. It's not left-hand thread or anything. But I think what Suzuki did was they didn't think anyone was ever going to take it out. Let me just do that. So they put all the Loctite they had on this little bolt. So if you try and remove it and it feels like you're turning it the wrong way or anything like that, don't worry, it's got too much Loctite on it. But yeah, that's how it looks like when it is removed. Then that oil gallery is open. All the oil can go through the oil filter. I'll just put the old one back, just so the hole isn't open. Once we get to starting the bike, we will be installing a new oil filter and oil and everything. All right, let me continue. All right, so while you're installing these little block of plates, you can put, as you can see, a little dab of silicone on them. You don't need to especially make gaskets or anything like that. As I say, you just put a little dab of silicone on it. Doing this with one hand is lekker. And yeah, just a little drop of silicone, and then you can just tighten them as normal. As you can see, one is already installed, and there goes the other one. I recessed these aluminium pieces, so the Allen keys turn about, let's say, halfway into the little aluminium blocks. This one. So yeah, because they recess into the aluminium, it's like almost lock nuts. Just wipe that off. Any silicone that came out. And there you go. 2 block of plates installed. Now we just need to fit the drain on the turbo, and then we are done. So I wanted to show you, I made the drain pipe. It's not a socket, it was a frame bolt I used. Took the thread off and brazed it on and everything. And now if you see that little black line, I angled it just a little bit, because if you check, this is where it goes, and there's a lovely bolt right there. I even tried, I pushed this back to get the bolt out of the way, but unfortunately it didn't go out of the way. So you can see there's a bit of clearance there, just enough for silicone hose to get by and for me to clamp it. So yeah, I angled it just, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, let me install it and we continue from there. So the drain pipe is installed. You will see it is pinching over here, but not that bad that it's gonna go through the pipe or anything. Just come back a bit. So I need to put the clamp here and there, and then it's done. Then we can continue with the clutch. This is the welded one. We need to install that into the clutch, take the old one out that's loose and put this one in. So we need to do that, and then I've got some nice goodies from Shane. Got the CDI back. Got this nice 101mm air filter, and there she is. Zoom out a bit. Lovely. Doesn't stick out too far. If I'm not liking it, I'll just trim it here a bit. But yeah, just look at that. Gorgeous, man, gorgeous. All right, let me get finished with that clutch so we can get closer to starting her. So we fixed the issue of the exhaust. I changed the whole exhaust. I cut a lot out. That side's pipe was a long pipe, so I made both of them short. They just pushed over here at the moment to get tagged into place. But if you check over there, they're now equal length, equally standing the same. And if you check the side stand, clears everything, and it looks pretty nice. So they will blow out here, away from the tire, away from everything. I think that'll look great. So yeah, I'll just tag it and weld it, and then we can finish polishing it, and yeah, one more step closer. All right, as you can see, they are fully welded. There's the pieces of pipe I did cut off quite a bit. So yeah, nothing to the quality of Shane's welds, but that'll do. I will just finish it off and polish the living crap out of it, and it should be fine. All right, so let me wire brush or grind or something that's a little bit better, and I'll show you once I'm done. All right, there she is. Fully not polished, just sort of polished. But yeah, as you can see, it's looking good. Let's install it on the bike and be done with it. So there you can see the exhaust is fully installed, nice and tight. Need to put the hanger on the back, but I'll do that. And I need to put the wastegate on, but first I want to change that oil filter and make sure it's serviced and everything. But yeah, this side you can see exits like that. Let's go to the other side. This side, you can check there's clearance and does not interfere with the side stand. Great! So we are almost done. Almost ready. Oh, where's the boost box gone? What did I do with the boost box? Oh yeah, I welded some more tabs onto it so we can finally finish installing it. So you see the tabs on the side, that'll keep it on it. But yeah, I'll show you that. I still need to make this hole, and I'll quickly do that, and then we'll start finishing up this boost box. So for this lovely boost box, to hold it, stop it from pulling off, I've got these lovely brackets. They need to be painted, but one for each side. So this is the bolt that holds the engine together or in the frame. So what you do is you take that bolt off, you see down there, then this one, oh yeah, that goes in, so it's now now standing on top, but it goes in, it's got adjustability, and then you just tap a hole here. Both sides, the other side's got to have a little bend in it because that bolt's much higher on the other side. But yeah, these are the brackets I use, stop the boost box from coming off. So I'm not going to show you everything. I'll paint those, bend the other one, and then I'll show you when I install it. And then this is the idle control valve. It also needs to be connected. So I'll just put a little bung in there. And then I need to reinstall the injectors again. So we can see everything is fitting good and nicely. And yeah, I still need to put that lock up welded piece in the clutch. Still need to show you guys that, but yeah, we are definitely getting there, so close. All right, you guys and girls, so while I'm busy on this side checking the clutch plates and everything and still looking for that bolt's place, I want to ask you all a question. Should I show you everything I do? Should I show you how I measure the clutch plates and make sure they all not worn down and stuff like that? Or can I skip steps like that and go straight to the things I want to show you? Because I can make a how-to video on how to do the clutch, but if I do the clutch in this video, it's going to be the entire video. So I rather, well, comment, tell me what you want me to do. You want this whole turbo setup to be like a 20-part video or 7-8 parts done? So yeah, comment down below. So the next thing I need to do is I need to remove this little jiggly toy that Suzuki installed. Very nice thing. When you under power or when you're under hard braking and you gear down, it lets the clutch slip a bit to stop it from locking up the back wheel. Alright, so while I'm busy looking for that little screw, I'm also upgrading the clutch springs and also this, taking this out. I'll show you the new one. But then I found something that's interesting to me. If you check here, this nut hasn't been removed before, unless it's been done very beautifully. If you check there, it's only been hit once and not another time. And if this little bolt comes from back there, it means this clutch basket and everything must have been off at some time, and yeah, not according to that. So I'm not sure. I did check everything, even all the little bolts are there. So where this one came from, I do not know. I cannot find a place for it. Unless they replaced it, but as I say, at this moment the only places it can be is around here, and according to what I'm seeing here, this clutch basket hasn't been off before. Alright, but I'll show you what you can buy this whole setup. I know there's Brock's Performance and I don't know, Summit and guys like that, but yeah, here by us, best way is just to weld it. I'll show you a welded one before I install it, and I'll tell you a couple of things I do to make the clutch work better for the turbo setup. Alright, so let me remove that bolt and this and everything, and I'll show you the next steps. So once you've removed this little lock nut over here, there's a washer key But yeah, then you can remove this whole muscle. Just put that there. And you can remove all of these groceries. As you can see, one piece and the other piece. So what I'll do is I'll remove this clutch basket. If you check, there's like a bush on the inside. You need to remove that, otherwise you have to take all the clutch plates and everything off. But if you can remove that bush, it's easier to get the whole assembly out. And then we'll just have a quick look at the back. But yeah, here's the new one, that's the old one. So let me just put that muscle back together. If you can check there. This is a Gen 1, this is a Gen 2 one. The only difference, as far as I know, I will just check that, but is this. The Gen 2 has longer springs in it. I think, yeah, longer springs. So this little arms or whatever you call them. You see if I put it down there. That's the difference between the Gen 1 and Gen 2. The Gen 1's got shorter springs. Gen 2's got longer springs. So I need to put those into this one. And then I can install it there. But yeah, let's quickly take this basket off and just check for that bolt at the back. See what we can see. Alright. Okay. So this is what I was talking about. This bush with this needle bearing. As you can see, I did take the clutch basket out, but I kept all the plates and everything together. But that roller bearing with the bush goes in here, and then you can check there. Well, but then you've got space to remove this. Yeah, at the front it goes in where it connects to the crank. Alright, so you guys are seeing it as I am seeing it. Cannot see any problems or any faults. Nothing. Alright, so here we are on the inside. There's the little bolts I told you about. Now normally if you change this, you have to loosen these, and yeah, I was thinking that's where it came from, but yeah, apparently it wasn't. Everything looks nice and good. There's no marks or places you can see that little bolt went into anything. It's actually, yeah, just looking good. I'll give you the once over and then put everything back, and then we can install that one. I'll show you. Yeah, and we can be done with this. All right, let's continue. Okay, so if you are installing these ones back on, or when you install them back on, you must give them a little bit of Loctite. It's very cold here, so you can see the Loctite is a bit sticky. But yeah, give them a bit of Loctite, because you don't want them to come loose. That's what bugger ups your clutch cover. So yeah, there's the difference again between the Gen 1 and Gen 2 ones. So I'll quickly install these ones back in, and yeah, then we can finish up with this clutch. I'll show you one more trick I do to make it a bit stiffer for the turbo setup, so it can handle the power. I did check all the clutch plates. The plates were all looking very good. The steel plates had some light discoloration, a bit of slippage. So yeah, we'll just make the clutch a bit stronger. All right, let me lock those up and I'll show you how to make the clutch tighter. Okay, so when you are reinstalling this, and you must check all these little bolts. They normally stretch here at the back, and you can check, you will see the thread is elongated or pulled out or what have you. So you must always check your 6 little bolts, and you can measure your springs and check your springs and everything. So the one modification I do to make it a bit harder is this one. It is spacers. They are 2 point something millimeters thick. So what happens is, you see there's 6 of them. They go exactly over. You see, they fit over, and then you can either, they go over and into the bottom like that. You can fit them on the top, but it's easier to put them at the bottom, because if you fit them at the top and they go a bit off center or something, then you normally don't get it to recess. So that's the one modification I do to make the springs a bit tighter. It helps the clutch. Yeah, it helps everything a lot. So yeah, you install your springs with that at the bottom. What you'll see is, if you do it like that, these bolts, you see they will still make it, but once you tighten them, the springs will be a lot tighter. All right, let me quickly tighten up those and we'll continue from there. Yeah, and that is the clutch portion of it done. The only thing I want to tell you is those spacers are a specific size. If you go too big, the springs can bind and then you break this cover. So don't just go and randomly put washers in. There's a specific size to everything. If you go too big, you bind the springs, and when you pull the clutch, it breaks the bottom ends of this cover off. So yeah, be careful with that. And yeah, to torque all this down, I can reinstall the clutch cover, and another thing ticked off, we are done with that. So yeah, probably the next video we will finish up with the boost box, hanger brackets and everything, and yeah, install the plugs and everything, and I am pretty sure we will be able to start by the next video. There's not a lot of things left to do. Most of the work is done. So yeah, if you guys are still watching by this time, thank you all a hell of a lot. Keep sharing, liking, even commenting if there's anything I'm doing wrong, or things you don't like, or things you would like to see, or yeah, let me know, eh? And yeah, continue on. Yeah, the members, as I said, that helps a lot. I just appreciate all you guys for staying tuned and helping me on my journey. Probably the next video will also be on the beaking, and then we are fully going into the top ends. So yeah, but we need to get this bike started. We've got everything now, so yeah, it's just finishing up everything. So thank you all a lot. May the Lord bless you all, and may you all have a lovely week and full of all the goodness. All right, see you in the next one.